So we are back, and we start with, well, we're going to continue from what I was reading last night. We have noted from our discussions on the functions of money that the two most important ones are that money should serve as a medium of exchange, right? I have something, you have something, right? And as a measure of value based on the figures, you would say, well, all right, if we have money, this is value this. And because of the paper money, and we have $1, $2, this is value $3. That's what, instead of that makes it easy. That's one of the simplest ways. This is $3. You have figures that's worth $3 or a dollar or whatever, $3. You give it to me, and I will give you that. All right? If anything happens to perform these functions, it is regarded by the economists as money, whether it's precious metal or paper or even such things as cigarettes. I'm going to read it again. If anything performs these functions, it is regarded by economists as money. It is a medium for exchange, right? And listen what it says. Whether it be precious metal, that would be gold and diamond, or paper, that would be like the paper note, or a check, or even such things as cigarettes in a prisoner of war camp, right? The main point to note is that everybody within the given community is prepared. This is a fragile book. Is prepared to accept this commodity in exchange of obligations. Our definition of money may therefore be framed as follows. Money is anything which is universally accepted in the discharge of business obligations because it acts as a measure of value of all other commodities and a medium of exchange between all other commodities. Now, before we go forward, one of the mediums today presently, it is a current account where you store figures, the same figures that is rolling on the time where I'm speaking here, the same figures that you would see on my Facebook page as views when somebody views my whatever contents I put there, right? It is that same figure that is transferred from account to account and is used as a medium to get goods. If you want to get a sneakers in America, or I want to get a piece of tool in America, I can, or another part of the world, not just in America, anywhere in the USA, anywhere. The medium of exchange right now today is a current figure. In other words, when a man thinks that he has a pile of paper money in his hand and he thinks that he is rich, he cannot take that and buy nothing in the forms of a foreign exchange. That is a local currency that sometimes has no value. As a matter of fact, right now, Trinidad currency has no value because the fact being, they're printing it, cutting the money anyhow, that paper money, and nobody really wants it. If all the government workers don't want it, if all the wealthy men doesn't want it, right? None of them, nobody doesn't pay you through it. All the goods are being scanned. Eventually, they will get rid of that money. And when I say get rid of it, the value is going to go so low that you might not be able to stack it together for anything. To say you have 10,000, you might have to get 10,000 in a figure where it's in a recognized current account. And those things are coming down the road. Yes? So you have to understand, right, where money started and the fundamental basis of that. Because if you didn't have no product, if somebody didn't build a house, build a bench, build a counter, you couldn't have a bank. If you didn't have no pay, you couldn't have a bank. And remember that we are called third world countries. When you came and you was working on sugar cane, or you was working on, I don't know, any other industry, but you made children and they had a local schooling that school the children? Where was the education based on? That is the question that you have to ask. We were never under Grenada. We were never under Guyana. We were never under Tobago. We were never under St. Vincent. We were never under China, India, Venezuela. None of these places, we were never educated by them. You were educated by a language which to the higher, right, would be in places like where it's considered to be London. That's why you were free from. Yes? So, as I give this lecture, it is lecture 1. This is a very old book. And you are still using the ideology of a dollar. You are still using the ideology of an account. And all those things are bound and sealed in books. So even if you are 30, 20 something, and you are speaking about money, remember that woodworkers were up here. And we had figures, right? In other words, if you go to past and present woodworks on YouTube, the same figure that you have, that you go into a bank, and they replenish your card or top up your card every month end, so you can take all the paper money to do whatever you want. Remember that there were people up here already before you were born using that same system. So as you go down, when the system upgrades, remember that somebody was explaining to you what and how. So you will have to upgrade with that. But for the rest and the woodworkers and the people who have small businesses at home, I am going to explain to you. That's why I'm taking time off. That's why the Torah carpenters were free men in a system. That is why I'm taking time off to educate those other youth down the road. Right? Because you are going to sit down on a bench like this under somebody's house to get paid. Or in a building. Some people like that. But some people rather to be home like me, still earning, still, it's part of the society. And you're at home in the comfort. If you want to go to the bathroom, you are right there. If you want to go to anywhere, you are right there. And then you could still make the same money what he's going to sit down. Right? And what we would consider to be a form of slavery, because you cannot get up and go when you want. You're a slave to the money. Right? Carpenters were free men on an island. Yes? So this will be for the younger and for my son. Because I mean, the table saw there, the next one, the band saw there, the mortar saw there, and I'm going to make timber products that I'm going to continue to exchange. Yes? So, some people might not see these videos now. Just like the lady on YouTube who says, so long, and next one say, why was the title Madman? That's how I choose. Because based on the nonsense that is happening on the island today, 2020, with those old men, right? I rather to stand under education for my children's generation down the road, because those who are there in front, that is 60 years, they know nothing. And they did nothing for the greater good.